And it couldn't be better to start this edition without having the late president's son of Gamal Abdel Nasser. We're joined today with engineer Abdel Hakim Abdel Nasser. We'd like to thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you with us at Nile Cruise.
No, it's my pleasure to have you in my home.
Yes, exactly.
Now, I'd like to know, how do you feel being here at your home and now it's a museum?
Whenever I come here, I feel I'm back home, because this is my home, my childhood, everything. Especially, I'm the only one from my old brothers that I was born here, 1955. So, but as it is, as I told you, my home, back home. When I'm seeing it as a museum now, it was a dream for us to happen. Because even after my father passed away in 1970, the law which came out of the parliament by that time, that this home should stay with us till the last one of our generation.
Yes.
But after my mother died in 1990, we decided, why you gonna wait till after our death, and then you make it a museum? Why don't you make it now? Especially every one of us has his own home, and it would be easier to do it while we are alive than to do it after us. And for that, even we delivered the house back to the government to make it a museum.
Yes.
But then it took so long, but thank God, we say, there is a better late than never,
Yes.
So,
and I think it came out to be an amazing project.
Yes, it is amazing. Actually, it is really started in 2009. And it took 19 years or 18 years to take the decision, and from end of the decree was the end of 2008, and starting 2009 we started to have meeting with the Minister of Culture. By that time, the person who was responsible for the project was Dr. Saber Arab, who became Minister of Culture after that. And we gave him all the positions, because we have all, because when we first delivered the house, everything was put there. And then when we found that it's not going to happen, so we took the things which belongs to us. There is many things most of it belongs to the government, but part of it belongs to us, like the presents, the decorations, everything we got from it. So actually we preserve these things, and then we gave all these things in 2009 to the Ministry of Culture, and they started to do all the required restoration, everything to put it back in its original appearance. And of course, when January Revolution happened 2011, and the project stopped, and it actually started again to be after the revolution of June the 30th. And we thank God, that in this 1 year of the Brotherhood, they don't have the time to come and destroy the place or something. Because they tried, to do in the mosque, they want to take the things out of the mosque. And I stopped them by that time, and I gave them all the things they required, and we put our personal things there. And thank God that the mosque where my father buried was under the management and everything of the of the military command, because it's adjacent to the
supervision, under the supervision.
So, and then after that, after after June, 30th of June revolution, they start immediately again, and the military engineering department was responsible for the
Renovation,
for
construction.
the works
the
and
project.
everything, and it finished. And exactly like today, last year, we have the honor to have President Sisi to come by himself to inaugurate it and open it for
Yes, very good.
Oh, this is a beautiful place, and we all know the history of the president, his great deeds, whether for the pan-Arab unity, the Syrian unification,
Yes.
helping the liberation of various Arab and African nations, and so many more, which we'll talk about. But now, being with his son, now we need to know what the real Gamal Abdel Nasser, as a father, as a family man.
yeah.
Yes.
When
Your memories of it.
when we first moved to the house, this house was finishing here. All this section
Yes.
here, this was added to the house in 1960.
Yes.
Because the house here, you know, it was only 2-3 bedrooms, and there was no place, for example, to have if you have official guests like presidential visit or royal visit or something like that. You don't have a place for such a gathering. So they add this part here. This here where you have the auditorium here, this was
Part of
big
the home
living,
theater?
living area. And this was a dining room.
A dining
room for the official visits. But we were using this dining room for us as a family, because our dining room, maybe you saw it upstairs. So this gave us a chance that this dining room was, while there was not visit, my father they were using it for, because the only hobby he had to rest was watching films. They put to have big screen there, and they have the machine, and we have the cinema there. So this room, for me, it's a very special room, because we always gather here and we sit here apart from here. And you have then, of course, the garden. This was. I was very young, so the garden, when you are a kid and you're living in a house with a big garden, so this is paradise, So.
Yes. So how was the experience with your father back then? How was the experience? That was the question of
actually, the weekends when we were lucky that there is nothing extraordinary, so we used to, all of us together in the garden. And when we were young, we used to play football with us, there is a kiosk outside, maybe you saw it. We used to have a ping pong table, we used to play ping pong. And we had a lovely time here.
Yes.
Was he a strict
and
father?
even this room, we used to have our birthdays.
Was he a strict father, or did he pamper you and spoil you?
Say again?
Was he a strict father, or did he pamper you?
It was a mixture of both. He was, when it's need to be strict, he was strict, but when it's spoiling, he was a very tender father, and very patient. Now when I think I was young and I was doing a lot of silly things, and how he was patient, and with all the burden on his back and everything, he was really patient. And when I go back, when I make flashback to this, and even I used to do. Sometimes when I got married and had children, and sometimes they were doing silly things, and I was starting to go out of my temper. Then I immediately think about him. How come? He with all his burden would be more patient than me when I consider him. I am having nothing, No. He was very tender, and he was very patient, and he I don't remember even a moment that I went and he told me, go, I'm busy or I'm something. And he always, I was young and maybe he was reading something very important. And at least, he was getting his head out of what he's reading and look at me with a smile and then, okay, you continue. This for me was more than enough.
I think it makes a lot of sense. This leader has done a lot to the nation and the Arab world. And
Okay.
I'd like to know from you a little bit about, Gamal Abdel Nasser was a leader that he really changed a lot in Egypt and the Arab world.
Yes.
And you definitely learned a group of things from your experience with him that you might like to share with us. What you have really learned from the late President Gamal Abdel Nasser.
What I learned and that he was always concerned with the normal people and with the ordinary people, which represents the majority of the Egyptian people. And he felt always that these people with the victim of the greediness of the small, wealthy society of the country, wherever this society was Egyptians or foreigners by that time. And he was always, concerned that this majority everybody had equal opportunity in education, in health care, in job opportunities, on everything. So we faced that and we lived that, that even, when we went to school, we went to ordinary, schools. We didn't go to any special schools, and we were even. We would be sure that we treated in the school fair and square. No any spoiling, nothing. And that's even, for us as the brothers, you will find, that from the educational side, we were not all about the same level, So everybody really represents his educational level. And to be sure that would be normal, living the same life our friend in the school living it. So that was Gamal Abdel Nasser, and you don't have any special thing. The only special thing we have that living in a big house here, there,
Which is
cars,
which is quite normal for.
This is the thing which is have it as a privilege to be the son of a president.
Engineer Abdul Hakim, actually we will be heading to a break and we'll still continue the stories to learn more from you, but we'll head now to a short break and returning back with more stories.